Привет, this is Wilson off, guys. I'm in Saratoga, New York, waiting for a train to go by that I can catch. I was here about 5 days ago on Sunday. Today's Thursday now. This Thursday, September 19th at about 5 p.m. And I was here on Sunday scouting out the tracks. And according to my crew change guide, a train leaves here between 7 to 8 p.m. every day. And on Sunday, I was here from 6:30 to 8:45. And there was a train playing cat and mouse, but it didn't head north to Canada like my crew change guide said it would. I was listening to my radio. I bought a $30 radio on eBay, two-way radio, so I can listen to what they're saying. And the train company, Canadian Pacific, was calling the train D48. And they were saying, like, pull 5 cars ahead. Then the train would go 5 train cars forward. And so I definitely know I have the right frequency, 160.6 megahertz. If you look up the frequencies online, it doesn't give you the correct one because that was not listed online. I had to find it on my own. So, I've never been to Canada, at least not since before 9/11. So, a long time ago. And all I did was go to the other side of Niagara Falls. I've never been to Montreal before, but that's where these train tracks go. If the train doesn't diverge, there's another track like 3 miles north of here that goes into the Adirondacks. But if the train stays on the right track, on the right hand side, then it'll continue going north and to a train yard in Fort Edward, New York, and then the train tracks will diverge in Whitehall about 50 miles north of here. And the tracks on the right side go to Vermont, and the tracks on the left continue going north all the way to Montreal. And so I'm predicting that they won't diverge. It seems unlikely that a train will go on one of those wrong tracks. It'll be more likely for it to stay on the right track and take me to Montreal. So I brought my longboard with me. And in my backpack I have a hammock, bottle of water, a sleeping bag, box of granola bars, hygiene supplies, and an extra pair of clothes, power cords, an AC adapter, and a power bank. So I'm predicting that I might be here for like 4 hours until a train goes by. I don't have to be back at Albany until Monday, so I think I'll have enough time to get back. I'll probably ride a freight train back, but I don't have any ID with me. I don't even have a debit card with my name on it. All I have is cash. I intentionally left my debit card at home, just so they can't get my name or any information off of it if I do get caught. And I also have in my back pocket a handcuff key. So if I ever do get caught and detained, I'll just escape and run. But I can't let anyone see me on this train, because if one person sees me, call the cops and it'll be game over. And they probably won't let me off the hook like what happened in my first video when I got detained by the cops. So Toronto, this will be the farthest. I mean, Montreal is the farthest city from Albany that I've ever train hopped to. It's like 200 miles from it, but this is like 30 miles north, so it's really only 170 miles, but I've never train hopped more than 150 miles. So I'm going to keep listening to my scanner. There was a train like right over there when I first got here, But like 2 or 3 minutes after I arrived, the train went back south into the yard. Just north of the train yard. And hopefully no one sees me or gets suspicious. So I'm just going to try to lay low, listen to my radio, and I'll keep you guys updated. Nothing but chitter chatter on the radio. The radio communications are a lot calmer than they were on Sunday. Remember that big open field I showed you? Well, it's 8:30 p.m., so you can't even really tell it's a field. But in the middle is this excavator thing, and the key is in the ignition. So I don't want to touch it with my fingers, just because that'll leave DNA and fingerprints. But if I turn it to the left, these lights come on. If I turn it to the right, the lights come on. And if I turn it even further to the right, see, it would actually turn on if I turned it hard. I would have to turn it far and a little bit harder, but it would turn on and then I could control it. This is padlock right there, and I'm surprised they left the key just sitting there like that for anyone to steal the machine, because if I wanted to, I could actually steal this. I'd need some way to get it out of here, but I would never do that. Just trying to go from point A to point B without causing any trouble. I have some really good news. At about 9:30, the train took off. You see, at 9 p.m., the communication on the radio started going dark. So barely anything was being said. But then I went to go to sleep. At 9:30 p.m., I heard on the radio, am I okay to bolt? I'll say it again. They said, am I okay to bolt? And one of them basically said yes. And then I heard the train getting louder, a slight approach. And then when the train was just taking off, we were walking along the side of the train, and eventually found a shotgun hopper. Stuck my backpack and my longboard in there, and there's some cardboard already in there. Actually, not in that one. There's some cardboard in this one. Actually, no, that's just a blanket. Anyway, so while I was recording this video, someone who lived in one of the nearby residences must have saw me. See him standing in this lower. Oh, I'm not going to get off. I'm still going to continue riding it. Listen to my radio to see if they saw me. Okay, so guys, this hole that goes to the outside wall, that's only a bit more than a quarter-inch thick. So what I'm going to do, when I get to the water, I'm going to go in between the two hopper holes and just slide down there, because then I'll have an extra layer of steel. 10 minutes after takeoff, the train has now started going faster than I can run. 12 minutes after takeoff, we're going 50 miles per hour. 24 minutes after takeoff, the train stopped. The train was only stopped for 20 minutes before I heard a loud bang, which was slack action of the train moving again. And I've only been on the train for 2 minutes now, up to 20 miles per hour. So, hoping I can reach Canada by sunrise, because it's now 10:40 p.m. My train stopped in the Fort Edward yard. Now, 40 minutes after takeoff, this train stopped at what I see was the Fort Edward yard, and it was there for 20 minutes before I took off. It's now 3 a.m., 5 hours past takeoff. I'm in Plattsburgh, New York, at the south end of the border of Plattsburgh, which is only about 15 miles south of the Canadian border. The train stopped, and while I was inside the shotgun hopper, my GPS wouldn't work. I tried using my GPS because I might have crossed the Canadian border by now. But I actually didn't. And also there were no radio signals coming in on my radio scanner because the metal was so thick. Which kind of sucks because then I can't keep track of where I am or listen to anything. But it's also a good thing because that means it will probably be thick enough to block the x-rays as well. So I'm just going to wait here until the train starts to move. The train took off after only 15 minutes of waiting. Train stopped in Rouse's Point, 1 mile from the border, for an hour and a half. It just started going at 5:50, about 8 hours from takeoff. So now I really need to hide. In this clip, I meant to say this was the first time I left the country since 9/11. Crossing the St. Lawrence River. When I get to the other side, I'll be watching. feels good to be on my feet again. After about 8 hours of riding that. Stuck in that confined space, having to hide from everyone. Just so I don't get arrested. I need to keep my voice down because if I get pinched here, it's like game over. I'll be in so much trouble. So, try to just act normal. On my way to downtown. Notice how I didn't say my adventure is complete when I arrived in Montreal. That's because it isn't complete. Getting back is going to be harder than getting here. I think I'll go to the same spot I got off my train and try to catch one and just hide really well again. But my impressions of Montreal so far is it feels like I'm in a totally different country. Everyone here speaks French as the default language and can barely speak English. And the Ferris wheel's closed. All the tourist attractions here are closed, probably because it's like 9 a.m. right now. So I think I'm going to go to Toronto and then go back to Montreal, but I only have $120 and I don't even know if I can spend dollars here. I'd have to convert them into Canadian currency. I would try climbing that staircase under construction, but this is Canada and I'm not supposed to be here, so getting arrested is not an option. That's the St. Lawrence River right there. It's even wider than the Hudson River. I'm going to ride my skateboard across this bridge. I have to go slow because if I trip, I'll drop my phone. But it is a lot faster than walking, so I guess it comes with the risks. I'm going to try to skateboard to where the train tracks meet the US and Canadian border. A little over halfway across. Whoa! See that piece there was wafted out. Almost fell off. Well, I made it across the river, but there's still more of the bridge to go. I've now left Montreal. I'm going to have to walk till I get to a road and then skateboard about 45 miles. I just had to ride 6 miles on pavement that looks like this. Finally, it's higher quality pavement now, but that was so freaking hard to do. I only have about 10 more miles to go, but I came across these two apple trees, one over there, one here, and the ones facing the sun are about 50% red, so glad I found these because I'm out of water and apples are full of water. They don't have as much as watermelon, but I'm very glad I found these trees. I'm less than a mile from the border, and there's this cornfield next to me, so I picked a ear of corn. I can't even eat that. It's hard as a rock. A train is coming after an hour of waiting, but it's going north. I need to catch one heading south. But this will tell me how fast it travels to this point. It looks like it's going really slow. It stopped at the worst possible point. I don't know if this is good news or bad news, but I definitely hope to God he didn't see me. I just found the frequency that the freight trains use at the border, 161.1 megahertz. I wonder what would happen if I just crawled across the border. The bus and train tickets to Ottawa and Toronto were too expensive, so I stayed in Montreal and skateboarded 45 miles to the US-Canadian border. If you're wondering how I made it across and into Burlington, here's a copy of what I posted on Reddit. I'll leave a link to it down below. When I reached Burlington, I paid $50 for a bus to Albany.